Thank you, dear Prime Creator of all that is, for our ears to hear, for our eyes to see, and our voice to speak. Our foreseeing is a gift that allows us to co-create our future so that we are not aimless in our endeavors. It is our gifted choice, by virtue of free will, to style the future with our mind and ultimately make our destiny. But this is not the first step to our co-creation. Co-creation requires our insight, and that insight is seeing the absolute importance of going within, the place wherein you, Creator, dwell, the place where we imagine, where we find answers, where we utilize our dreams, where the only dependency is the self that is at once the container of you, Prime Creator. You know we must go within to see you, feel you, have true insight. And once seeing that, we realize with real eyes. And so it is.
Hello, this is supposed to be an exciting history lesson. If you're an atheist, you have no rights because rights are granted by God. So if you have no God, you have no rights. You have benefits and privileges. That's where you go. The next one is if you're a follower of Islam and you're on the land and soil, jurisdiction on Oregon, you need to leave. Your belief system is an all-inclusive religious government organization that demands Islam remove all opposition to the religion until they're all gone but Islam. It says so in their Quran, and they have to abide by it. There's two things that Islam can do to a male infidel. That's me. They can kill us, they can convert us, or they can require us to pay a fee. That's all. There's no particular requirement for when they do it, but they must do that. They cannot be your friend, and they cannot join you in your government. They have to work to eliminate your government. They have to install Sharia law. That's required of them. While in my government, Article 4, Section 4 says we will have a constitutional Republican form of government. And we'll have the laws of nature and nature's God. So that's what we are requiring. So if you're one of the people in the general public, the body politic, the people at large, if you're one of us and you're not the all caps version of your name, and you're not a member of the military, you're not a sworn cop, you're not a member of the bar, you're not elected to public office. If you're those, then you already have an obligation that removes you from being one of the people. That's how it is. So when the sheriff decides to be the sheriff, and they assume that they can do it, and they file the paperwork, they remove themselves from the body politic to apply for a specific job. That specific job is for our peace, safety, and happiness. That's what it's for. That's why they exist. They lose track of that. The reason they lose track of it on Oregon is Article 7 amended. 115 years of organized crime by the Bar Association. Currently, the Oregon State Bar Association and the judiciary on Oregon. So, I'm one of the people. I'm also a person, but that's first person singular of people. That's not the all caps version of my name that you use in court and you deceive us with. And then you lie and say you're not deceiving us. Damn. You are who you say you are, provided you can support it. Now, I say, this is me. And I support it. And I've been doing that for years. And there's a bunch more just like me that are doing the same thing. And we're all still standing. Although Cortland threw my ass in jail for a week, 5 days, illegally and illegitimately. And I'll take that up with Shelley Hoffman. So, if you're a Satanist, if you believe in evil, that evil character, Baphomet or whatever, Satan, Salem, little slip there. A Satanist, if you're evil, then you should be gone. You are my enemy. If I find you, I will do my best to eliminate you from being evil. So, self-correct. Those people that are in public office that have been elected, however illegally and illegitimately they were elected, should they choose to do the right thing, should they choose to be what they're supposed to be and provide us original jurisdiction, not color of law. Should they choose to do that, they can self-correct. We'll help them. Should they not choose to do that, then we will do our best to make sure they never get elected to another office. Now, there are people that are striving to be elected that are not capable of serving in the office. One of them is running for governor right now, a female that was in the legislature when they broke their oath. She was one of the 89. Mike Neerman let us in. The cops hit us with sticks, not me, but others, and sprayed them with spray, not me, but others. I was close. I helped them out. Washed eyes out. Hi, Valerie. So here we go. We're going to provide all of our sheriffs with as many opportunities to self-correct as we can. And we're also going to go to the county commissioners, such as Yamhill, and require them to do their job, Sam. You don't get to be in the office of sheriff on Yamhill County without the proper bona fides. Your credentials will be in order. We know that your oath is to this Constitution, which contains Article 7 amended and is bogus color of law, illegal and illegitimate. We know that. You know that. There is no evidence to support the other side. If there's no evidence to support the claim fails. You fail. You have to self-correct. And I yield. So, hello. So how do you get there from here? Or how do you get here from there? And I think you have to make the conscious decision that you are not going to acquiesce to another infringement upon your unalienable rights. You're just not going to do it. You will not acquiesce. You will deny. You will do whatever is necessary, but you will not acquiesce. You will do your best. You can lose, but you won't give up. That's really hard. So if you make the decision that you're not going to accept any infringement, you have to know what your unalienable rights are. Or is it unalienable rights? And they had the choice when they made the decisions to write this down so that it was as they wanted it, not as somebody imagined it should be or could be. But they chose to do things like make it a confederation and not a federation. There's a difference. They knew the difference and they chose a confederation. And they chose a perpetual union. So there's a great deal of difference between a confederation and perpetual union, what we're supposed to have, and this federal dictatorship that they're running out of Washington, District of Columbia, Inc. Forts, ports, and needful buildings. There are no forts or ports on Oregon that the feds are operating. And they have no needful building. The Marco Hatfield building, I've checked out. We know it's not a lawful building. It's not the United States of America. It's a business enterprise. It's maybe some kind of Article 1 court with Article 3 judges that are not legit. But I digress. How do we get there from here, or how do we get from here to there? What we have is a de facto color of law, state of Oregon being operated out of Salem, being honored by all of the courts in all of the counties as a state court in the county of. And it's all a business enterprise operated under Article 7 amended. A document that cannot be supported. There is no support for it. There's plenty of proof that it didn't happen, but there's no support for it. All hearsay and stuff like, oh, we had a fire in the courthouse. We're sorry about that. Doesn't work that way. Secretary of State has to do their job properly. Tobias is not doing it. Neither did the 6 before him. And Michael Kaplan's not doing his job. And neither did the 2 before him. We do not have a legit Office of Secretary of State. That's fact. We made it a fact by doing the work. They didn't appear. They had the opportunity. We did it in Salem, on the plaza across from the State Building. Yep. There's a lot to be desired. And part of it is our peace, safety, and happiness. Article 1, Section 1. How do we get there from here? We have to go through the sheriffs. That's where we have to go through. If the sheriffs that are in place now that we know do not have their proper credentials in order, which is not amazing, but because the DPSST, what is it? We've tried several times to communicate with those people. They don't. I read about them in the newspaper. They keep having scandals, just like the Department of Corrections and the penal system. I know for a fact they're not legit. But I digress. How do we get there from here? How do we get here from there? We got here from there by accepting Article 7 amended that was brought to us in fraud. And fraud vitiates all contracts either partially or completely. We have to roll this back, and we cannot make a contract with the devil. We cannot do evil knowingly and intentionally. We cannot take a false oath to a document that we know is perjurious. It's bogus. It's a fraud. You can't take a false oath and be a man or a woman on the land and soil. You got to be something else. And we can only have men and women in office, providing for our peace, safety, and happiness. This is not a for-profit operation. It's called government. We are not the cash cow to feed government. It's all written down how you do it. This is not a retirable position. If you want to retire, go get a job. Invent something, make something, work, provide. And when you get to be old, you get to retire, maybe, if you live that long. How do we get there from here? You do not acquiesce to one unalienable right. We got a bunch of deputies. If you said that to them, they'd have to contact an attorney to see what they think. They specifically told me that they haven't read the Constitution and it's way over their head, but they took an oath to it. Oh, God, these guys are amazing. They could be, if they did the job properly and quit the lying, cheating, and stealing, especially at the Oregon State Police level. You guys got to come clean with this stuff. You cannot legislate away the Oregon State Police killed Robert Lavoy Finicum. You can't legislate that away. That has to come out. That has to be caveat to will, probate, and open court. Caveat to will. We will make an exception. We will go out of our way for the will. Now, when you look in the dictionary, Bouvier 6, and you read will, it takes a half a page to say what will is. And probate, people think they know what probate is, but they only know a little bit about it. And open court. Open court does not mean a judge is sitting on a bench. A judge is a judge. A court is 3 tribunals and a clerk. That's a court. Courts judge the law, not judges, not members of the Oregon State Bar. Courts judge the law. And juries determine the facts. In law, common law, and equity. And that's all we deal in. We are not in commerce. This is not maritime law. This is about us, not corporations. The contract is us, me and you, that realize who we are and know and can support it. Those, loosely known as the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, and others of our ilk, were not exclusive. That bunch is the provisional government, Article 1, Section 1. The bunch in Salem is still made up of a great many of the 89 that violated their oath and locked us out. Mike Newman let us in, and they threw him out of the club. He embarrassed them. That 89 broke their oath. They have no honor. They can't serve. They've already proven it. One of them is running for governor now. Another one is governor. Governor of the de facto state of Oregon, aka all caps Oregon. The Portland, Salem, Eugene, Medford corridor. That's what we're dealing with. And the Oregon State Police, appointed by Tina Casey Cotting. Yeah. And the General of the National Guard, appointed by Tina who led The 89 in breaking their oath and having no honor, that one? That's who you're following? That's who's making the rules, huh? The Oregon Revised Statutes. That's not how it's supposed to be, folks. How do you get there from here? You have to do it yourself. Nobody can do it for you. And we can't do it alone. I yield.
Hi, I'm Eric Dover with the Oregon Statewide Journal Assembly, and I have some messages for the Oregon sheriffs. Where are sheriffs? Our Article 3, Amendment 7 Civilian Common Law Court of Record has made numerous visits and relentless communications to our county sheriffs on Oregon. Why? Because our sheriffs are our first protection against governance overreach. It is our county sheriffs that should be there to assist seniors to prevent their eviction from their home and all they possess. It should be our county sheriffs who protect and defend the people from a corrupt court system, rather than ticketing them or supporting the illegitimate amended Article 7 courts. Our sheriffs seem to be avoiding any engagement with us, the people reaching out for a conversation about their refusal to see us. Contact requests are met with cricket sounds. Where are sheriffs? It is significant that they take a proper oath to the Constitution, circa 1859, with its original jurisdiction, that is, to the people rather than to a corporation, to our Creator, that is, with God included. Such a dejuration, an oath, is needed for there to be remedy in our system of governance. Let's get this ball rolling. It just takes one of you to make a difference, to get it started, to assist in awakening your colleagues in sheriffdom. Let it be so.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying, and then he jumps out of the car, and he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, to shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead with his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.